Hello everybody, I am Naya and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, as we usually do on this channel, we're going to break down some spiritual topics. So today I want to talk about you should love yourself. Just love yourself, as a shallow way to dismiss people. Okay, so we know this from all the posts on Instagram and on YouTube. Sometimes spiritual sentences nowadays are just becoming a marketing tool that is so much easier to use than actually involving yourself with people and counseling people. And one of the things that we hear the most, and I am sure, by the way, that the majority of people who post this sort of content, they have as an intention the empowerment of other people. However, they also know that creating these sort of sentences is a very simple way to attract attention and audience towards their platforms and pages. And since 2012, since the awakening and everything that we saw exploding in the spiritual community online in various platforms, we hear the sentence so many times. You should love yourself. That has to be the intention. Unless you love yourself, you will never be able to love anybody else. But obviously, even though there is a fundamental spiritual truth around this entire sentence, it can also be delivered as an easy way to dismiss your clients if you're counseling, or just dismiss people in general. But it raises some fundamental questions. How can we really love ourselves when in actuality the discovering for oneself and therefore the realization of the self is a transcendental journey? If you're not aware what transcendental means, according to the philosopher Agostino, the search for oneself means it's transcendental because it's never ending. And that's why, if you believe in past life and reincarnation, we keep incarnating over and over again until we attain nirvana, we attain moksha or liberation, which is obviously something that higher spiritual people, ascended masters, have attained. But not everybody, let's be honest, will attain probably in one lifetime, and that's okay too. And therefore, how can we really love truly oneself and just say this to other people if for the majority of the people the discovery for oneself is something that it's gonna last an entire lifetime? I hear so many times the sentence, you should know yourself, you should love yourself before you can manifest or have the things that you want to experience. However, this is in contradiction with the transcendental journey that we're taking in and of itself. Discovering oneself is not something that we do in a month, not even in a year. Like I said, it's something that we do in an entire lifetime. And because biologically speaking, human beings are wired to be social creatures, it's fundamentally important to discover oneself through the works within relationship, also in a spiritual sense. So just saying you should love yourself before you can even find a partner, you can see how is an easy way to dismiss someone's problem and to dismiss people in general. Now, I am not saying that loving yourself is something wrong. I always say that obviously love is what you do. I always say that love is not what you do, but it's who you are. And the universe is full of love and we are made of love. However, we must encounter love in our life in order to experience self-growth. So yes, it is a process that we do individually, and it is a process of self-discovery. Of course, if you hate yourself and you're constantly talking bad and negative about yourself, you are basically blocking your ability to be open to others people's love. However, you do not also have to be a hermit just healing and working on yourself in order to experience love. That's not how it works. Actually, it's through empathy, and it's through the appreciation of another person or other people in general, not just in a romantic sense, that we discover oneself. In fact, as human beings, all that we want to do is to feel seen, is to feel understood, and is to feel appreciated. And this is something that we cannot just do on our own. And this is the reason why, for instance, social media have been a powerful tool for so many people, and they glued people's attention and even developed addiction, because they truly work on this pattern of natural empathy, or enlist the natural ability and needs of human beings to have social interaction. If we will all be hermit, loving ourselves and not needing social interaction, social media will become a flop, and not the trillions of dollars that it has produced on Silicon Valley. But it has produced this effect because we have a need to be seen, to share, and to be appreciated. So why using self-love can be such an easy way to dismiss people? Because when you are, let's say, counseling, or you could be a motivational speaker or a YouTuber, this sort of sentence, they just sound a bit cliche, like saying you have to apply intention. But what exactly does this word mean? Are we using them because it's just trendy and it's easy to use them, or do we actually mean it? And are we tailor-making the advice that we're giving to people, or we are just generalized on everybody? I do believe the source energy, and on a universal perspective, we should seek for a universal truth. However, we have to be aware the universal truth, it can only be seen from a higher perspective. And in actuality, each and every one of us will hold an individual, precious, subjective truth. And therefore, we can only understand who we are through social interaction. I actually made a video saying the best advice that you can have in relationship, where I basically teach you, or just say to you guys, that it's important to own and overcome the fear of ending up alone. Just owning the fact that most likely or probably you can end up alone, it's a very powerful technique that can put you in that self-loving mode, and can make you understand that of course you should be independent, of course you should love your life, and of course you shouldn't be desperate or needy for anybody's attention. However, we cannot give everybody the same advice, because everybody has a different way and it's wired in a different way. So I do believe that this general advice can be powerful in a second for empowering people. However, they cannot be used to dismiss people and just to give them the shallow sentence that everybody is talking about. Self-love is powerful. Giving love to yourself is important, especially to be open to more love. But we have to remember that love is also found outside of yourself, and not just inside yourself. And it's not just found in another person, but it's found in the universe at large, in the interaction that we have with our children, in the interaction with a stranger, in acts of kindness, in the love for animals, in the love for your pets, in the love for your passion, and yes, also in the love for your friends and other individuals. We have to be aware of the fact that we build self-love also through the mirror effect that other people give on us, and through the value and appreciation that other people can deliver to us. That doesn't mean though that we have to be dependent and addicted to this appreciation, but we do have to appreciate it. And why this is so important? Because if we only focus on self-love in this very shallow way, what could potentially happen is that actually we are developing some very dangerous, so potential narcissistic trait, when we only care about what is important to us, and we dismiss completely our natural capacity of empathizing for another person. We must recoup some more humane interaction with each other, and truly listening to other people. Sometimes love, it is about compromising with another person and discovering lost parts of yourself through the mirror effect, through the mirror effect with another person. And we have to remember that love is found in so many ways within the entire system of the universe. But if we are only saying to people, you should love yourself, you should only think about yourself, now we can't understand why people are actually losing in this day and age society empathy, and we are seeing so many I's and so many narcissistic traits. Just even the fact that a phone is called the iPhone, the iMac, not bashing Apple whatsoever, but just the name, it's an entire, it's an entire vibration, and it's an entire world that we have built it. Are we really talking to people? We always, and I hear people complaining about relationship all the time and saying that doesn't meet my needs, and this is not what I want, and what I, but are we really meeting people halfway? Are we really empathizing, or are we losing a bit our humanity just in serve of self-love and self-realization and enlightenment? Are we taking the spiritual terms and just serving them for our shallow purposes? I am not judging or neither accusing you on the other side of the screen. Remember, I don't know you, you're not in front of me. I am just raising some questions about spirituality at large and the type of sentences that we use in the spiritual community in order to bring more awareness to them and become lesser and lesser shallow and much more in depth and giving meaning to things. And especially from a counselor point of view, I think it's very precious and important to give tailor-made advice to people. So if you ever felt, limited from the word self-love, because for instance, you might have received this advice, you have to love yourself, but still you have a need for social interaction. Still, you have a need to finding that loving partner, to find love within your life. And all you can hear as an advice from other people is, but you have to love yourself. And in the meantime, you're even confused about who you are, and you might be very young or maybe not young, but still in the process of knowing who you are. I just want you to know that you do not have to follow these advices. I just want you to know that living your experience, having failures even in relationship, giving love to people, empathize to other people is as much spiritual and important as the act of self-love. We have to realize that we are our greatest guru, and our greatest guru actually is our existence altogether. There isn't one path and one advice for everybody, because everybody is dealing with different karmas, is dealing with different actions, different attitudes and personalities. And if you feel that you still are in the process of finding yourself and maybe you'll never find who you really are, I just want you to know that it is okay. The only thing that you have to be mindful about is how you feel within the present moment and having awareness of how you feel. If you will make a conscious effort of being aware of how you feel in the present moment and being honest with yourself as well with others, I promise you that love will find you. Love will find you every single day within the small acts of kindness that you're doing to people. Remember, spirituality is not always about enlightenment or reaching an ascended version of yourself. Spirituality should be a way to, yes, discover oneself, but to be honest, bettering the world, becoming more aware and conscious individual, and ultimately becoming better people. When we become better people, we can interact socially better with others. We can respectful in the comment sections of others. We are stopping comparing ourselves with others and doing us harm, but we can appreciate what others are doing and also appreciate in our life. And when we are appreciating others, others can appreciate us. Sometimes we are so broken and we cannot love ourselves. It's practically impossible, but maybe through the care of a parent, through the care of a sibling, of your best friend, of a stranger or a lover, they teach us how to love ourselves because they recognize us beyond our faults. And this is so important. So I just want you to know that if in this moment you're not able to love yourself, it's okay. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with you. And you're not spiritually not woke. It's totally fine. And probably you're going to see a video or you're going to see a person that it's going to go beyond what you're feeling and experiencing in the present moment and love you for who you are, even beyond your faults. When we do this act of really true love towards others, we accept them for who they are. We make an effort towards them and they do the same. We discover through love that love is who we are. We discovered through love that the universe is indeed full of love, and we do not have to become perfect beings in order to be loved and recognized. And this is why I think we must be aware when we are advising this sort of content and this sort of sentences to people, because they can become shallow way to dismiss people but not accepting them for who they are. We have to accept each other for who we are. This is the first act of self-love, and this is the first act of love for another person. And if we all will help each other doing this, we will discover love in a much more universal way. So this is my video for you today, guys. I hope you can appreciate this content, and I do not have to be right at all. And sorry for the catchy title. I do not obviously want to offend anybody. I just want to spark some open conversation about our day and age society so we can improve and learn from each other. So please go ahead and comment in the comment section down below. As long as you're respectful, even if you don't agree with me, I'm more than open to hear your perspective so we can again all learn and better the world and grow from each other's opinion, points of view, and perspectives. I love you so much, you guys, and I see you another time for another of our videos here on Iradia Alchemy and also on my Patreon.